Welcome back to the Born Blondes podcast. I'm Aubrey.
And I'm Randa. Thanks for joining. Today's episode is a fun one. I think so.
Yeah. I feel so, lost right now. I feel like it's been a little while since we've actually recorded.
That's true, because we had
Yeah.
the spoiler.
The two-part.
Yeah.
So
we didn't have to sit down and record. But I went to TikTok and I asked everyone what they thought, or some ideas on red flags and green flags in relationships, family, friendship, just in general as a whole. And I got quite a few. So Aubrey and I are going to do our opinions on if it's a green flag or if it's a red flag. Which I feel like most of these are going to be red flags.
I mean, red flags are easier to come up with than green flags.
That's true.
But I've also heard a lot of people start using the term beige flags.
Beige flags?
Beige.
Explain. Like kind of like both?
Now I'm being put on the spot. Kind of like it's not a red flag or a green flag. It's just beige. Like it's a flag.
It's a flag. Do you have an example? Because I've never heard this term before, and I might have to Google it later.
I feel like one of the ones that was used was something along the line of, like, I have to clean it myself, otherwise it's not done correctly type deal.
That is so me. That is
like,
so me.
It's not necessarily a bad thing, but, like, it's not a good thing either, so it's a beige flag.
Okay. I feel like that's me, but it's not like you can't do it right. It's just, I guess that would be like you can't do it right. Because
my mom's favorite term was it needs to be mommy clean. So it needs to be done the way she wants it done. It needs to be mommy clean.
I like that.
So that's when I go clean my dad's house. He's like, I want mommy clean. And I'm like, okay.
Aww,
like I knew what that
meant.
meant.
That's adorable.
So
how new is this beige flag thing? Because I've never heard it before. Am I just not hip with the lingo?
I don't think it's super new. They talked about it on a podcast that I listened to like within the last month, but I know I've heard it before that.
Okay. Well, I've also been in a relationship for almost 11 years, so
That's fair.
also haven't had to
worry about flags
because my husband is a walking green flag, so I guess it just...
And I'm a walking red.
I haven't had to worry about any of that.
That's true.
I haven't been in the dating life for quite some time, so...
I'm jealous.
None of my red flags correspond with my husband. I just want to do a disclaimer.
I got a red flag for him.
What? What is it?
When you're 30 and still live in your parents' house. Mitchell.
If you know, you know.
All jokes, they own the house now.
Yeah.
It just was previously his parents.
That's so funny. I saw that meme and I showed it to him and I was like, yeah, Mitch. Yeah, Mitchell. Oh my God.
Didn't he come back with, you live here too?
Yeah. You're almost 30 and you live in your in-laws' house. Anyway.
I love it. So let's see what's on the list.
Yes. So the first thing here is your partner loves you in your love language.
That's a green flag.
That is
It's gotta be a green
100%
flag.
a green flag. If you say anything other than green flag for that, like not even beige flag, it's just a green flag.
Absolutely.
Because they take the time to understand you and know what your love language is and then take it upon themselves to love you in that language, even if it's not theirs.
Absolutely.
Like they're going against what they want, or not against what they want, just what they're used to make you happy.
And I don't want to say it's been a struggle lately, but it's a learning curve.
It's hard.
Because me and Ricky actually sat down and did the love language like quizzes, and I'm so used to showing, because that's most people, like, your love language is how you want to receive love, but also how you show love, and how I show love is a different love language than how he wants to receive love. So it's been a learning curve.
It's hard.
It's been a learning curve.
It's really hard, and you want to, like, I hope people would want to try to love their partner in their love language
Absolutely.
versus their own, but also you have to like balance the two because it's hard, like you said, it's hard for you to do one for yourself, but also it's not the way your partner likes it. So then you have to switch it up or tweak it or just do something completely different that you're not used to. So then you have to like,
and that's like in your head, it's, well, this is how I want to be loved, so
it's this way or the highway, like
this is how I show it, but
Yeah.
that's not necessarily how another person's gonna receive it. So like, yeah, that's
it's really
it can be difficult,
but it's really sweet though.
It is.
It is really, really sweet.
Yes.
Next one.
Next.
This one was weird to me, but it was one of the comments on TikTok. Has a cat.
Red flag. Just kidding. I'm kidding.
Here's where the beige flag comes into play because I don't care.
That's fair.
Like
Okay, I guess we could take this a step further. How does he treat said cat, or her treat said cat that they have?
That's
because
true.
having a cat could be beige, but how they treat it could go either way.
That's true. That's 100% true. If they're nice to the cat and respectful, then 100% green flag. But if they're abusive and like neglect, red flag.
That's all animals though. Like if you don't care for and respect animals, not just wild, but like pets.
Right.
Like that.
It says a lot about your character.
Absolutely.
And about like you as a person
and like another thing would be like, do they take that animal to the vet? Like for regular checkups. Like that's
Sorry, you just like I don't think I've ever taken a cat to the vet.
But that if you were to have an injured cat or they were showing physical signs of illness, would you take them to, that's what I'm getting at. Like regular checkups, that's a giant like green flag. But like
vaccinations. I don't think I've ever vaccinated a cat.
I know people who have like, oh yeah, I think it's this, and this, but I can't afford to take it to the vet. Why do you have it then? Mm-hmm. Like there should be always some sort of backup because like birds very rarely need to go to the vet, but like
when they do,
I've also drove 2 hours to see a vet for a bird just to get the correct answers.
Right.
So
I feel like that one's a tough one, but for me, just as has a cat, it's beige for me. Like I don't care if you do, I don't care if you don't. Like, one, I'm not a huge cat person.
You used to be.
I mean, I would say I was more of like a dog person than a cat person, but I always had cats. Yes. So it was just like it was very opposite, and it was just weird. So anyway, next one is friends with their siblings and spends time with their nieces and nephews.
I feel like that's a green flag.
I would say that's a green flag.
Yeah, I like that.
Because it just shows, like, they want to spend time with family and, like, they're...
family-oriented.
There you go. I was trying to think of the words, but it wasn't coming to my brain.
I like it.
My brain wasn't braining.
That's fair.
Next one.
My brain never brains.
Oh my god, that's so true. Oh, the amount of times that we've had strokes on the pod and we've only started is insane. Not just you, not just me. Even Ricky had a stroke on the pod. He said there was asses in the air. I mean, come on now.
Asses everywhere.
No hate. We love you. Here's another one.
Kidding. I said I was kidding.
Tells you they never felt this way about anyone before, early into dating/relationship. I feel like that's on the verge of being a red flag.
That's difficult for me.
I mean, again, I haven't dated in many years, but when Mitchell and I first started talking, like, we both knew right away that, like, we were each other's person, so...
And that's, me and Ricky have pretty much felt the same way.
Yeah.
So, like, we're very upfront about our feelings from the beginning. Mm-hmm. So, that sentence was said.
Right.
So
it's hard because I feel like there's a way
of it depends who it's coming from, I guess.
That's true.
Because there's a way of saying that, like, I've never felt this way about somebody, but there's, hold on, I'm thinking of the term, love bombing. If you're doing it while love bombing.
That's another one on here.
That's great. If they're doing it while love bombing, yes, that is a giant red flag.
So when I was talking with Mitchell about these and putting them into the spreadsheet here, we were both like, what the fuck is love bombing? Because like I feel like we're not I don't even know what it is. And neither did Mitchell, and we both felt stupid.
So it's essentially right from the get-go, you're 2-3 days in, oh my god, I love you so much, you're the person I want to be with for the rest of my life, we're going to get married. Like, very, very,
those were
very,
all of the
very...
things that Mitchell said to me, except for we're going to get married.
But like...
But we did.
It's essentially like love overload at the very beginning.
That's a lot.
So...
That's a lot.
Yeah. It's love bombing.
It is super overwhelming, and it's just, I feel like a lot of people, either guy or girl, whoever, I just feel like a lot of the times they're just saying it to get into your pants. Like they're just wanting,
and it's exactly what love bombing
they're
is.
saying what you want to hear in order to give them what they want. Like it's just, you know what I mean? So
precisely.
And it's too much for me.
So in that sense, yes, saying that could... What was the sentence? That you've never felt this way about somebody? So yes, if you're doing it in a love bombing way, I feel like that could be a red flag.
Yeah. But there's a good side to it. Yeah. Because Mitchell and I have been together almost 11 years, like I've said. And we both said that to each other very early on in our relationship.
Me and Ricky have said. Which
and we're still...
Me and Ricky are only a year in, but that's...
Right.
I mean... It was said pretty quickly. I don't feel like those exact words were said. It's more... There's never been anything like this before. Mm-hmm. Like, it feels different. And that's kind of what we talked about a lot. But, like, I can piggyback off that. And, like, I remember sitting down with my therapist, which everybody should do therapy. It's fantastic. It's for everybody. You don't have to have anything wrong with you to do therapy.
Correct. You could go there and talk about happy
everything. But I was talking to my therapist, and it was like, you know, it's so hard going from a really bad relationship to a good relationship because like
you don't know how to act.
Like nobody tells you what to do with the green flags when you have them, and you don't know how to react to them when all you've ever got is red flags.
So you run away, you push the green flags away because you're not used to being loved in a way that you should be loved. Or talked to, or
like I've tried pushing Ricky away several times.
Oh, I've
like pushed several times.
Yeah.
So it's nobody tells you how to react to a green flag when you do find them.
I've also pushed Mitchell away many a times, but the fact that he keeps coming back and reassuring me, green flag, 100%.
Absolutely.
Same with Ricky, 100%. Like if they're constantly being shown like. Or getting pushed away, and they just keep coming back. Like, that just shows their devotion and, like, their love for you and how they don't want to lose you. And they're, like, keep trying. Like, that's a huge green flag. But it's hard for someone like us who have gone through crap and then finally finding something that's worth it and green flag all the way. And then you're just like,
what do I do with this?
Yeah, like, I don't know what to do. Help. I need an adult. Like,
this is too much. A huge topic of conversation. And I'm sure further down the line, that's something we can talk further into. But
absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. This next one is main form of communication is Snapchat. Red flag.
Red flag. To a
Mitchell used to call it snatch chat. Which is
that's
so funny.
So hard for me though because I have one for you. Girls with guy best friends. Or guys with girl best friends.
Red flag. I've already lived
all the time?
All the time. Red flag. I don't care who you are. To me, that's a red flag because I've lived it on both sides. And
that's so difficult for me though because I don't want to say he's my best friend, but one of my good friends is a guy. Mm-hmm. But he's married with kids, and I'm in a relationship, and we're both very respectful about that. And, like, Ricky has met him. He's met Ricky. I worked with his wife.
Right.
Like, And that's, she also has my contact information though.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like we're secretive about it.
Right.
Like, our main form of communication is through Snapchat. Like, we have, I think it's like 1,200 day Snapchat streak. That's over 3 years. But
wait. What's the snap streak?
Like 1,200 days.
That's insane. That's insane.
But, like, it's not always full-blown conversation. Like, sometimes it's just us keeping the snap streak alive, where other days it's, oh, hey, like, how's the kiddo been? Like, especially when his wife was late into her pregnancy, I was like, hey, like, how's your wife feeling? Mm-hmm. And, like, he came back with very pregnant and was like, yeah, I
Obviously.
bet. But, like,
right.
Like, is she in good spirits? Like, do you guys need anything? Like,
right.
How is she feeling?
I get it, but there's also, like, my perspective, what's happened to me in the past. Like, it's always been guy or girl has had feelings for one another.
That's
and
fair.
It's happened with me, with my guy friends. They've all liked me in some way, and I know.
Right.
But then also, like, I don't want to, like, throw out people's business, but, like, it's happened on the other side where I
know.
Like, liked someone, and he was best friends with a girl, and, like, tried, what's the word? Pursuing things with his best friend, and it's like, if you're just best friends and you're trying to, like, kiss them, like, that's not just friends.
Right.
Like, there's a border of, like, being friends, but I feel like every time it's always crossed by either party, and, like, my own personal experience, like, I don't care about, like, just
right.
me. Like, you can have whatever, but, like, me, I don't think guys and girls can be
Do you
just
feel like
friends.
that's a red flag, though?
100% that's a red flag.
Walking red flag.
You are a walking red flag. No, I'm kidding.
I don't know,
I get
it's
what you're
difficult
saying.
because
I get what you're saying.
Like, if I was just some rando off the street, I'd be like, yeah, red flag. But it's like, I also have a hard time saying red flag because I've seen it from, like, my side of things. But, like,
You've seen
I've
it from
also
my
watched,
side.
I've seen it from your side.
Yeah.
I've dealt with the same thing as
Right.
far as your side. But,
Right.
like, I've also seen my parents just fine with friends of the opposite sex. But, like, it's... I don't know, like...
It could just
that's
be
a really
me.
hard one for me.
It could just be me because I had such a bad experience with it.
That's
I'm putting
fair.
this negative whatever around it. So every time I hear it, I'm like, nope, can't do it because I had such a negative
And that's fair. That's absolutely fair.
experience with it, and it hurt me so bad, like, to my core, that I think that it's just a no-go for me.
That's
like,
absolutely
regardless, no-go.
But back to the only form of communication being Snapchat. Red flag, I can tell you that from experience.
Yes. Yes.
Like,
Yes.
that's...
Friendship aside, dating relationship, I feel like 100%, because just what Snapchat was, like, originally intended for, I feel like right off the gate, like, you can't text me. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are your intentions?
I
huge
can
red
tell
flag.
you from experience that's a walking red flag.
Abso-frickin-lutely.
Like, I can tell you from experience within the past... Shit, how long has it been now?
2,
3 years?
Yeah, I was going to say 2, 3 years. Yeah, it's
no.
just... All right, moving on before this gets ugly. Anyway, just kidding. I'm just kidding. Next one is doesn't stop for funeral procession.
Ooh, red flag.
Red flag.
That, no respect there.
Absolutely.
That's-
And that's just downright
Rude.
rude and so wrong.
They
And
have
it's
enough
like,
to deal with on that day. The last thing they need to deal with is
Is
some
assholes?
asshole cutting them off because they're in a
Absolutely.
rush to get somewhere, 5 seconds quicker?
right. Like, it's really just stop. Like, just stop. I don't want to correspond this to, like, emergency vehicles, but, like, you have to get over for
yes.
them. I
Yes.
mean, it's kind of...
And also, get over for them.
Yes. My husband. Get over for
That's-
my husband.
But that's, well, it's
I'm
funny
joking.
because, like, Peyton would tell me all the time, yeah, Mitch couldn't get out on the main
my
road.
God,
And
I know.
It's funny because he used to live right
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
I would see him all the time out my window, just struggling to get
Mitchell
out.
would
And
get
it's like,
so irritated. Like, just move. Like, stop. Like, obviously he has lights inside. Well, usually right there it's just lights, but whatever.
Right.
And there was many times that Ashley would get so freaked out by the sirens. She's like, what's going on? And it's just Mitchell driving. It's like,
It's just
hey.
me.
All right, next one. This one, immediate red flag. You ready
Uh-oh.
for this? Laying their phone down face down. So you have your phone and it's like this. So you can't see your phone screen. So if you get a notification, all you see is the back of the phone. To me,
That's a hard one for me because I immediately want to say red flag, but
it's like, what are you hiding?
at the same time, I do it.
Again, at the beginning of this episode, she said she was a walking red flag. Here we are proving that point.
But, like, I do it so I can devote my attention to the other person.
I'm going to call bullshit because you wear a watch and you're constantly checking your watch.
Right, but, like, if me and Ricky go out to eat, my phone is face down. Or, like, if we're out in public or whatever, I will put my phone face down on the table.
I guess I could see that. But also, I don't know.
That's
again, probably a
if
bad
it-
experience on my
okay.
part where the other person was cheating. It
I
just
could
makes
see it being like if you're at home and you were just on your phone and you quickly lock it and put it face down
Right.
to like talk to somebody, that I could see it being a red flag. Like
Right.
that to me, it looks like you're hiding somebody, like something,
Right.
hiding somebody, hiding
Somebody can
something.
fit in your phone.
But like, I don't know. That's a tough one.
Let's
I
take
want to
this-
say red flag.
Yes, let's take this a next step further. If they're always, like, they constantly always have their phone on them, like in their pocket, like they get up, like say you're living with someone, they get up to go do something, they take their phone with them.
That's a red flag.
Yes,
Like if you're like getting up to go to the shower,
yes.
I could see that being a red flag. Again, walking red flag. I take my phone with me, but that's because I listen to music.
Well, I mean,
But,
I can't
like-
really, like, when I'm pooping, I'm on my phone. Like,
Yes.
I'm not in the 1900s pooping with
Right.
no, like, I'm
But,
not gonna
like,
look at a magazine.
If I'm getting up to go get like a snack and then coming right back,
Yes.
I'm not gonna take my phone with me.
Right. I don't care about the shower, because, like, you want to listen to music,
Right.
or,
Like Ricky will leave his phone all the time. That half the time he forgets it. But like
yeah.
some people could see it being a red flag because like when we first started dating and he would come spend the weekend for me, he would leave his phone in the car all weekend.
Yeah, yeah.
And like a lot of people could perceive that as a red flag, but it's like he had a different reason for it.
right.
And a lot of it was because he didn't want to be contacted by certain people and he didn't want the
Certain
interruption.
people to interrupt your guys' time together.
Correct.
I feel like a lot of these could go either way depending on the
The person
situations
and-
and the
yes.
person. And I mean, the main form of all of this is communication.
But,
like,
like-
if you just, you know,
The big thing with the phone though, because like we did have an incident where somebody else was trying to accuse him of something and he's like, I have nothing to hide, like opened his phone and handed it to me. And it was
Right.
like, I don't want to go through it because
Right.
I already know that
like,
if
deep
you're
down.
willing to hand it to me, you have nothing to hide.
Right.
Just the fact
Absolutely.
that you're willing to hand it over, you know I'm not going to
Shows-
find anything.
Yeah.
So I have no point in going through
Well,
it.
he might have already deleted. No, I'm kidding.
But that's...
I'm totally kidding. I'm totally kidding.
but
But it
it's-
could have gone that way.
Right.
You know?
But like if I had something to hide, I'm not going to unlock my phone and be like, here you go.
That's true. That's
Like-
stupid. Like, I'm going to get caught. Here's my phone.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Dummy.
and that was a huge trust thing. Like, as soon as that happened, it was like, no, like, I don't want to look through it. I immediately trust you. Like,
Right.
if you're willing to hand your phone over, we're fine.
Yeah. Also, I feel like in relationships, like if you, like Mitchell has my passcode to get into my phone. His
Ricky has
face
mine.
can open my phone. Like it's
That's,
just, or
and we don't
his,
have,
his thumb.
we
not
don't
his
have Face ID for, like, I don't have my Face ID set up. So, like,
Mm-hmm.
my face doesn't even unlock my phone.
Right.
But he has my passcode.
Yeah. And I feel like even something like that should be necessary if you're in long-term relationships
Absolutely.
in case of an emergency.
Absolutely.
Because I feel like something like that, just because I am married to someone who's in the I don't wanna
Emergency
say,
services.
Yeah, I was gonna say medical field, but in a way, yes, but no, emergency field. Like it's just you learn about, like you hear the things that happen, and yeah, I just feel like it's a red flag in certain aspects, but also green flag when it comes to like I have your passcode, like I can just
Right.
get in whenever I want, blah blah blah. We're gonna move on. Hopefully you didn't hear
Next.
the pounding that was just downstairs by the children.
Dang children!
He has money but doesn't work.
Ooh, red flag.
Yeah.
Red flag.
Where you getting your dough from?
Red flag.
I
That's
got two
to me.
phones, one full of
Like, to me, I immediately go drug dealer. Like, drugs.
drugs.
But like at the same time, like, what if it's an inheritance?
That's what I was gonna say, or maybe it's
Or like
Social Security or like
That's why I
disability
said that's hard.
or isn't Social Security usually for old people? Or
not
older?
necessarily. It's elder, but it could also be for disabled.
Yeah.
So
I guess it really depends on like what are you doing?
right, like where is it coming from?
What? And that, excuse me, that would have had to. That just has to be a conversation. 'Cause,
Absolutely.
Like, you can get money, but like I need to know where. I need to know how. I need to know how much. No, I'm kidding.
But at the same time, but at the same time, if it's like an inheritance thing, but like your parents are paying you monthly, type deal,
right.
like.
I remember. I
Okay,
was
but are
getting-
you doing anything for them to get that
Like-
money monthly, or are you just sitting on your ass living off
right?
what your parents
Or are
give
you doing some illegal shit on the side? like
Right.
sneaky shit. Then we need to like.
But also, like, if you're sitting on your ass and your parents are just giving you money, like, to me, that's a red flag because in a way that shows me you're lazy.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Hopefully you guys cannot hear that. I apologize if you do, especially for the podcast listeners listening with headphones. Just anyway. Okay, anyway. So
Bouncing off the walls.
we agree that one's a red flag.
Yes.
Okay. This next one is love bombing, which we just kind of
Or that's a
already
red flag.
said. We agree that's a red flag. Next one, we're just gonna skip over that one. Doesn't introduce you to their friends. Or I'll add family. Oh my god, what are they doing down there?
I would immediately say red flag, but that's
That's kinda-
also difficult because it doesn't introduce them to you after how long?
Right. I think it's more or less like if you go to like a function and you're with people, they like you walk up to them and you're talking, but you're not like, hey, this is so and so, my so.
That's a red flag.
That's a red flag.
Like,
But
the
if
first
it's-
day you met him, I walked in and was like, hey, hi, how's it going? Like,
Right.
that type of deal. And I was like, oh, this is Ricky.
Right, right.
Like,
And
it was relatively quickly.
right. And before that, because we're friends, we've already talked about
Right.
you with him, so I kind of had an idea. And obviously, if you bring a guy with you, I'm gonna obviously
This is Frank, right?
I'm gonna assume it's the person you've been talking about.
Right.
But I don't know. You are a red flag. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking.
I need a big red
Here's
flag.
my red flag. It's better than a white flag.
That's true.
But yeah, I would say it's a green flag. Red flag. Sorry. So many flags, all the colors.
It's a flag.
White, green, red, beige, turquoise, all of the things. I would say it's a red flag because it's just disrespectful.
It is.
Especially if you guys, like, I get it when you're first dating and it's just kind of, I don't know. But at the end of the day, I feel like if you want to be with this person, like,
There are still people that
What's
I'll
it gonna
walk up
hurt?
to and have a conversation, and it's like, have you ever met Ricky?
oh my god, I do that all the time.
It's like,
I do that
wait
all
a
the
second.
And it's like, I even do that with, like, my family. I'm like, you remember them, right? Like,
Right.
I'm always super considerate. And, like, I was going to come up with an example, but now I can't think of one. Like, it just happened recently. I was like, you remember so-and-so, right? And they're like, yeah. Like, we've met. I'm like, okay. Like, I just don't want that
Right.
awkward, like, I'm standing here with someone.
But
like,
you don't know who it is.
Yeah, like, that's just
That's
weird
fair.
to me. Like, that's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, takes accountability for their actions.
Ooh,
green,
green.
flag.
Green, green, green.
Green, 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 green.
Green, 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 green.
Green, green, grass. What's that one song that they always sing? I don't know. Anyway, my
I don't know.
brain just went crazy. Saying we got this together.
Ooh, that's a green flag.
Green, that's actually like, that's hot. Sorry. Like, just saying something like that, it's like,
we'll get through it. We'll figure it out together. But it's the we. It's the team.
Yes, it's the me and you. It's the...
Absolutely.
I don't know. I just love that. Mm-hmm. I really love that. That's a huge green flag. All right. Buying things because I thought you'd like it. Green flag.
I'd say that's a green flag.
Green flag? You'd say?
I'd say that's a green flag. I mean, I could see some instances where that would be a red flag.
Explain. I'm interested.
Maybe it's not
what you're thinking of
as similar as what I'm thinking of, but
are you thinking like creep action, or like what are you?
I mean, yeah, creep action. I wasn't thinking that, but like
creep action. That's such a weird.
After any type of abuse, buying something and being like, "Well, I thought you would like this." That could be like a red flag, but that's... True. I feel like that's a completely different situation.
You totally went...
That's why, like I said, I went weird places
that, like,
with that.
80 times, and now here we are, like, negative.
Listen.
No, I totally get it, because we've done the same thing with all of these. We've flipped it sideways, backways.
Backways?
Backways.
But I definitely feel like...
It could go either way. It depends on...
For the most part, it's a green flag.
Yeah, it depends on previous situations. It depends on just that relationship as a whole. It depends on literally everything. But I am always... I feel like I'm very much like, ooh, I see something. Like, it reminds me of that person. Like, I'm going to get it for them.
Right.
Like, that's a green flag because, like, you're
thinking of them when they're not there.
Yeah, and
absolutely.
I just think that's really thoughtful.
I'd say it's a green flag.
Yeah. This next one is loving dogs.
Green? Duh. I'd say loving any animal. Or all animals.
Yeah, this kind of goes back to like the has a cat one.
Right.
That's
green flag.
Yeah, green flag. Opening doors for others.
Green.
Green flag. Again, it just goes to the respectful.
Absolutely.
I was going to come up with another really smart word, but now I can't think of it.
Respectful,
all the things. Ooh, here's a good one. Punching walls. Red flag. Aubrey.
Listen.
What had happened was...
If you don't let me walk away and calm down, and I feel like I'm cornered, I'm going to punch my way out of the room.
I feel claustrophobic and I need to escape.
Exactly.
I feel...
Sorry.
I mean... I don't know what I was going to say. But we did start this off with it. She's a red flag, so... I'm just going to keep going back to
I would say it's a red flag. I take accountability.
That's
like,
the first
it's
step.
A red flag, but...
That's the first step.
And I'm not going to blame it on other people, but, like, at the same time, if you escalate the situation to the point... It's difficult, because, like, if you are, like, immediately triggered, turn around, punch a red wall, punch a wall, like, that could be a red flag, but, like...
Punching flag.
If you're...
Sorry,
I don't know.
Not funny.
I don't want to say it's a green flag at all, because at no point is it a green flag, but...
Correct.
I guess under different circumstances, it could be understood.
Right. I mean, I get it. But
it's a red flag.
Yes. I don't know how to explain it. That one's hard. That one's difficult. I'm just going to go to the next one.
And next.
This one's kind of the same. Yelling out of anger.
How long did it take you to start yelling?
That's true.
I mean, red flag, but how long did it take you to start yelling?
That's true. I feel like if you're not respecting what I'm telling you, like if I need space, give me space. But then if you're talking over me and the only way that I'm going to be heard is if I'm yelling, like that's kind of... You felt that to your soul.
I literally just dealt with this earlier today.
You felt that in your soul. I mean, like...
But, like, I've got into it with people at work over that. Like, they asked me a question, and then as I was answering, which things were already heated, but they asked me a question, and then as I was answering, decided to talk over me and then got mad because I kept talking and wasn't going to let them interrupt me.
Mm-hmm.
And then their big masculinity got in the way and they started yelling at me and, don't interrupt me. I was like, hold on.
Yeah.
Like, you asked me a question and then got mad because I was explaining it in a way you didn't like.
Right. Don't ask
And then
a question.
you started interrupting me.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Don't ask a question if you don't want an answer to it. Like, you ask a
But
question,
then yelling
you
at
get
me.
an answer.
But
That's kind of how questions work.
like yelling at me
Yeah,
because I was interrupting and it was like,
Who's interrupting who?
wait a second.
Who?
So it's like I said, how quick.
I feel like just right out the gate, yelling out of anger is like
Red flag.
Red flag. Like, why are you yelling? But I also, like, I get it where you're having I don't want to say argument, but, or like a conversation that eventually like escalates into an argument.
Right.
There's always that fine line of like, and the whole reason why argument's happening is because neither one of you are listening. You're not listening to what I'm saying, so then I'm rebutting. Yeah, that's the word.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I'm like, you're yelling because you're not listening.
Right.
But then also,
And like, this is another thing we've talked about in therapy, and it's the speaker listener. And it's, let me tell you what I'm saying, and then turn around and repeat back to me what I just said. Did you hear me correctly?
Right.
No, hold on. Let me re-explain that.
right.
And try again.
Right.
But at the same time, like, me and Ricky, that's something that we are heavily working on because it's gotten to the point where we're yelling for no reason over something completely stupid. And it's like, hold on.
And then I feel
Let
like,
me take 5 minutes.
Right.
Calm down. And then we will have a proper conversation about this
Right.
rather than nobody's listening.
listening.
Everybody's yelling.
And then at that point, you're just saying things to hurt the other person because you're just so heated.
Yes.
And I feel like the only way for that to like stop is to hurt the other. Like, it's just like, it's never, you can't win in arguments like that. It's just, you have to listen. And I mean, I'm saying this like I'm a fucking pro because I'm not. Like, I struggle with this.
It takes work.
It's hard.
It is.
And I feel like it's so funny because I'm doing a podcast, but I feel like I suck at communicating. Like, I am just not good at speaking. And I feel like most of the time it just takes me forever to like get to my point. But my brain just doesn't connect to my mouth very well. And I suck at communicating.
Exactly the thing. Because like, I will have something in my head and it makes sense in my head. But if I try and put words to it, it doesn't make any sense.
I feel like I'm pretty smart up here, but as soon as I open my mouth, I'm like, done. Like, I feel like I have a lot of good thoughts. It's just when it comes out, it's just not.
You hear yourself say it and you're like,
wait a minute. And that's how it is when it comes to communicating with like Mitchell or other people, like sometimes even you. But it's just, I don't know. It's weird.
Mm-hmm. And
relationships are hard.
I try and, like, again, that's one of the things that we're trying to communicate. I get overwhelmed very quickly.
Me too.
Very quickly.
I'm overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed right now. I'm kidding.
Fact.
It's just hard.
But, like, it's one of those things that we're trying to realize when I'm overwhelmed before it gets to the point.
I feel like every time I hear that word, it's just
overwhelmed.
I don't know.
Whelmed.
Overwhelmed.
Anyway,
it just sounds funny.
But like, we're trying to realize that I'm overwhelmed before it gets to the point where everybody's losing their shit.
And when you lost the point, or you're to the point of no return.
Yes. Like, like, Ricky will be like, "Well, why are you overwhelmed?" And it's like, I don't know. Mm-hmm. And I say I don't know because I know here. But if I say it out loud, like, none of it's going to make sense.
Right. Absolutely.
Give me a minute to figure out what's going on in my own head, and then I will communicate it with you. Like,
yes. We will get there.
Yeah.
It'll be great. Relationships are hard, but they're worth it. Let's move on.
Next.
Being mean to workers/servers. Red flag.
Oof. Red flag.
Again, it just comes down to the respect thing.
Yeah.
because I feel like most of the time people are rude to the servers when it's either like the cook's fault because they didn't.
We literally just dealt with this weekend.
It's just.
And, like, I was so annoyed that I looked at Ricky and I was like, I'm sorry, but I can no longer deal with our server. And a lot of that was because, like, I know it wasn't him, but if I opened my mouth, it was going to come out on somebody. And in order to not be an asshole, I literally was like, I can't deal with him anymore. Like, you're going to need to communicate for me because I'm done.
You're going to have to communicate for me.
Well, it
be my voice.
It was really annoying because we went out we were finally having, like, a nice birthday dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And we had gone out, sat down, he came out relatively quickly, took our drink orders, was good to go, came back a couple times to check if we were ready. Finally, I think he had to come back like 2 or 3 times. I don't remember. I couldn't figure out what I wanted, but finally figured it out.
Of course. It all stems down to you.
Always. And then we ordered, and we probably waited like a half hour for our food, which
I feel like that's pretty normal.
It seemed a bit excessive.
No, I feel like that's pretty normal.
Because, well, we were one of 3 tables, and the other 2 tables were already eating.
Oh, that's weird.
So it seemed very odd.
I feel like that could either be the cooks were slow or the server was just preoccupied that they didn't see the food sitting up there when it was done.
Bingo.
And yeah.
Because we seen him over talking to other servers, which I'm all for it. Socialize. But then, like, our food came. Well, I ordered a steak. And I get mine medium. I cut into it, and it was well done. Like, Ricky looked at it and was like, I wouldn't even give that to a dog. Like, well done.
Oh.
And then, like, I was eating the fries. I was eating the fries, and I was like, these taste old. Like...
Are you sure at this point you weren't just being negative Nancy
no,
and just
like,
nitpicking everything?
I might have been, but, like, they were old. And then I had a salad, and I was like, my croutons kind of taste stale, and, like, at this point, I was like, maybe it is me. And, like, I was like, will you, like, taste one of these? Mm-hmm. And he tasted it and was like, that tastes stale. And, like, I didn't say anything at that point. I was like,
that's what I was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, cool. Whatever. Ate my salad, ate my fries, didn't touch my steak. Well, he was like, is your steak, like, he came to check and was like, is your steak, like, not cooked right? And I was like, I don't know. Like, I asked for medium, and it's super well done. And he's like, well, it sat under the heat lamp for a while. Cool. So you just admitted to me that it's been sitting there. So it was like...
himself a hole.
And at that point, I wasn't going to be like, well, it's because you were sitting here doing that. Like, cool. You just admitted that it was sitting there.
Right.
He's like, well, do you want me to have them make you a new one? And I was like, at this point, I don't know, because I don't want to wait another 30 minutes for a steak.
Right.
That I shouldn't have waited for that long to begin with.
Right, because you were negligent.
And he's like, well, I'll get it put on the grill, like, right now. And it was like, okay, well, I ended up waiting 15 minutes for it anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like, it doesn't take that long to cook a medium steak, sorry.
Don't you love it when you go to the restaurant and I feel like when one thing is bad, everything else after that is bad?
Well, and, like, Ricky ate all his food, so, like, I felt bad because at the point where he was like, well, you have about 6 more minutes till the steak comes out, it was like, Ricky's done. I've ate all my fries. I've ate my salad. Like, I'm not even hungry anymore because I filled up on everything else. Like, I don't want the steak.
Right. And then you're so irritated. You're just like, I don't want this anyway.
Exactly. After he admitted that it was sitting under the heat lamp, I was like, I'm sorry, but I can't deal with him anymore.
Right.
Like,
I don't blame you.
I will sit here with my resting bitch face, but I'm not going to sit here.
Big RBF.
And be an asshole because of everything else.
Right.
Like, I'm done at this point.
Just call it quits after that. Okay, we have 2 more.
So over it.
We got a little off topic there.
It's all good.
Doesn't respect their mom.
That's a hard one.
I was going to say.
If it was an immediate thing, I would say red flag.
Right. Unless you heard backstory, understood their reasoning. Because I feel like there's always a reason. You just don't, unless you're just a complete asshole.
Right. That's what I said. If it was one of those immediate things, it'd be like, all right, red flag. But then, like, if you get a backstory and the mom's a piece of shit, like...
Right, then it's understandable, or, like, mom neglected you, or
Right.
abused you, or whatever the case is,
Right.
then I'm like, okay, yeah, that's, like, good for you for standing your ground and not allowing this person, just because it is your mom,
Right.
to do those things to you, because it's... I mean, don't take shit from
Right.
anybody. I don't care who it is. So, yeah.
If you're just being an asshole to be an asshole, then yeah, that's a red flag.
I feel like there's always a reason, though.
Right.
Most cases, I feel like there's a reason when it comes to something like that.
Yeah.
Because I've kind of dealt with that. But it's also... I don't know, there's a reason. Like, there's always a reason. It comes down to always a reason. All right, this last one that I have on here is short temper.
That's a red flag.
I would say red flag.
Walking red flag.
Walking red.
A lot of that's because I'm
flag.
just overwhelmed.
I mean, I will admit, I feel like I'm very irritable and very, like, on edge. Hold on now. Hold the fuck on. Hold the train. We gotta go back a couple steps. What the fuck was that? What the actual shit?
There's
people-
been some, again, it's one of those understandable things, but there's sometimes that you've, like, yelled and I was like, hold on.
What the fuck are you talking about? Yell about what?
Not yell, but, like...
To who? To you?
I mean, this goes back to our situation a couple weeks ago, but after the fact, you were like, I was, like, PMSing, and I was like,
Bruh.
got it. That's-
Listen
you can
here.
be irritable very quickly,
So
but
can
I'm
you.
the same way.
You are no- you
That's what
are
I said,
no
walking red
saint.
flag. But that's as soon as you're like, I can be very irritable really quickly. I was like,
You're like, that's true. She's speaking the truth, y'all. She's speaking. I mean, I feel like everyone is to a sense.
Yes.
Like, it just takes that one little thing to, like, throw you over the edge, and I feel
like
like
I
that's
said, after the
relatable.
fact, you were like, I'm PMSing. I was like, I get it.
I have endometriosis. Leave me alone.
So I said, I get it.
That shit's no
You're
joke. But no, I feel like having a short temper just in general with no reasonings, no whatever is just a red flag.
Absolutely.
Like, and that's guy or girl. Like, all of these go for guy or girl. Like, I don't care who you're
Absolutely.
into. Like, it's just out the gate, boom, like, no thanks. It's a red flag. It's a no from me.
It's a no.
And that makes me so happy that I am married and I do not ever have to deal with those kinds of things or dating or be like, is this a red flag? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't want...
Dating life is tough, and it's obviously, like, I don't see this relationship going anywhere. No.
Whoa!
Hold on. I don't see it.
Not going anywhere?
I worded that very terribly. I am so sorry. I don't see this relationship just ending. Like, when I say not going anywhere, like, the relationship status is not going anywhere. Like, we are staying together. I am, like I said, I am so sorry. That's not how I meant to word it.
I get what you're... See? We're smart up here, but once it comes out, it turns to crap.
That's why I said, as soon as I said that, I was like, wait a second.
You're
But, like,
that's
I
not
don't...
what I meant.
I see this relationship having a future. Like, I don't see us going our separate ways.
Right.
So, like, now it's not an issue, but, like, a year and a half to 2 years ago, like, I was ready to be done with relationships.
Right.
Because the dating world is very difficult.
It really is. And I can't really say that because I haven't dated in
Right.
so long, but it's also, like, just hearing from, like, you or, like, just
I
other
have
people
heard
that I
some
know.
Horror stories.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like, absolute
We could do a
horror
whole
stories.
pod about all of the... Ooh, that's a good idea.
Let's. Because, like, even if they're not my dating stories or like my horror stories, like I'd be happy to share them because there's some out there that it's like, I'm sorry. What?
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 What did you say? We could do. All right, if you're listening or watching on YouTube, I have a thing for you. Comment a dating horror story, either from yourself that you've experienced or something that you have heard, and we will do.
You can email us.
Oh yeah, that's a thing too. It's not at.
You could email us.
Oh my god.
It's the Born Blondes @gmail.com.
Correct. But this is the end of this podcast.
We might just split this one into 2. Unless we're just doing a very long one.
Maybe. I don't know. That is, yeah. But remember to follow us on all of our socials. Follow us subscribe to YouTube. Do all the things.
Do all the things with the things and the things.
I hate ending these because I feel like an idiot. Like, I don't know what to say. You know what
Until
to do.
next time.
You know what to do. See you later. Bye.
Goodbye.